We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Sifat Msusa, alongside Tauson Kamalata, our sign language interpreter tonight. Our top stories. The Malawi government commends Zimbabwe for the timely humanitarian support during disasters. The Reserve Bank of Malawi urges the financial sector to create products to attract diaspora investment. And in sport, the Football Association of Malawi apologizes to Lilongwe City Mayor over Charity Shield stage snub. We're glad you could join us. Government has hailed Zimbabwe for the humanitarian support it renders to Malawi in time of disasters and food shortages. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs Charles Muhango made the remarks during Zimbabwe's 46th independence anniversary celebrations, which were held in Lilongwe. Austin Fukula has filed this report, read by Patrick Dambula.
Muhango cited recent food and non-food items that Zimbabwe donated to Malawi to support people who were affected by floods, but also a maize consignment which was channeled towards households affected by hunger. This, he said, signifies strong bilateral relations.
We are united, we are together, we are the same people, we share the heritage, cultural history, and basically there are intermarriages. So the relationship between Malawi and Zimbabwe is very cordial, and we stand with them and they stand with us, as we saw when His Excellency Professor Althabita Mutharika declared a national disaster in Malawi. They came and helped us with food, maize and non-food items.
Zimbabwean ambassador to Malawi, Nancy Saungweme, described the relationship between the two countries as more than a diplomatic one. She said Malawi and Zimbabwe have enhanced their cooperation through trade, agriculture, tourism, and have also shared their cultures ever since the two nations' cooperation began during the colonial years.
When we talk of trade, and we say which Zimbabwean companies are we talking about, we find that we can't find a Zimbabwean company because Zimbabwe and Malawi are almost one, because they end up intermarriages and then they set up companies together. So at the end of the day, we are one family. So our bilateral relation is very strong, our trade relation is very strong, and our cultural relation is very strong.
Different heads of missions and ambassadors and other government officials graced the celebration. In June this year, the two nations will have a review of various agreements made in education, health, agriculture, among other areas, to assess how they have progressed over the years.
The Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DODMA, has called for increased humanitarian support to thousands of people still affected by recent floods and food shortages in the country. In an interview with MBC, DODMA Deputy Director of Response, Mebo Mbendera, said many households displaced or whose homes were damaged by the floods continue to need urgent assistance. Mbendera also disclosed that DODMA, in partnership with other stakeholders, is planning to relocate people living in disaster-prone areas to safer upland regions to reduce future risks. Our reporter George Banda speaks to Mbendera.
The need is there. That's why we have our partners such as WFP. We can mobilize resources because government as ourselves, we cannot manage to fill the gap that's there. Already with lean season, we had some gaps and we were appealing to partners to support us. So I would say that we cannot do it ourselves. We are appealing for partners to support us. The plan is there and it's always been there. As you know, Chikwawa is a flood-prone area. So we work with different clusters such as shelter. They want and sensitize the communities to move from where they are to upperlands. And as you know, that's something that has been going on for the last couple of years with the so many disasters that we've had. But I think at this point, we also need to go back to the drawing board and see how best we can move these people to safe areas.
The mayor of Blantyre City, Isaac Jomo Osman, says the council plans to introduce companies that will recycle waste for improved sanitation in the city. Osman made the remarks when he received hygiene and sanitation items donated by a United Kingdom Malawian-based organization precious germs in support of his hygiene and sanitation drive in the city.
First of all, it's the dream of the president. That's why I say that we need to look after this waste. We need to keep it. And we want to introduce something new to the people. They need to now to understand that the waste that they are just throwing away, it's money. The big companies who are coming, they want to buy those wastes and use it to make like electricity, even some blocks, using this waste that we are just throw it away. So it's my plea to Malawians. They need now to dream about something that is coming that will give them something. You know, every Malawian wants to have something. So with introducing of this project, a lot of Malawians will benefit from it.
And taking his turn, a representative of the Precious Gems organization, Charles Lehman Kachita, applauded Blantyre City Mayor for championing hygiene and sanitation, which he said has attracted their support.
It is very important that people who are in the diaspora should endeavor to look back home, Malawi, and support the work that is being done, especially in the city of Blantyre and also other areas. But we are not only focusing on people from the diaspora, we are also, in a way, this is a gesture to encourage even people who are living here in Malawi, that if we come together, we can do a lot, and we should support the work that the mayor is doing. So the effort that we put as a nation or as a group of people, I believe it will go a long way and it will make Blantyre great again.
Organizations across the country have been urged to adopt standardized reporting practices for their environmental, social, and governance impacts to enhance transparency and accountability. Speaking at the end of a training on Global Reporting Initiative Professional Certification Program in Mangochi, sustainability reporting expert Kisunge Godfrey Kabwere, who is managing partner of Strategy Limited, emphasized the critical need for involving qualified professionals in the reporting process. Dave Omar reports.
According to Kabwere, there are many reports from organizations that are produced by someone who is not certified. He said such trends erodes organizations' reputations as it compromises quality and credibility. Kabwere touted the training, saying it has equipped professionals from banks, corporates, and NGOs with skills to produce credible, audit-ready sustainability reports aligned with global standards. He pointed out that many local institutions are currently producing ESG reports without certified expertise, which raises concerns over the reliability of such disclosures.
So it's really important as a country to move in that direction of making sure that these reports come out audit ready. They are very accurate, because impacts can either be positive impact or a negative impact. So by default, most organizations would want to focus much on the positive impact of their activities to the on ESG. But the standard also says, apart from the positive impact, you are also supposed to focus on the negative impact. That's where there are remedies. If the company or firm is impacting negatively on the environment, then we say, what are the remedies? The report has to say that.
Participants, Sustainability Manager Miriam Kamanga from Standard Bank and Kizito Kumwenda of Aries Properties, said the training has strengthened their capacity to improve sustainability reporting.
Have adequate knowledge for us to be able to report according to GRI, which is an international standard. It means we are reaching out to multiple stakeholders for them to understand, our progress in terms of reporting on sustainability.
We have gained a lot of not just knowledge but also skills that will help us when we go back to implement the process of sustainability in our companies and in the companies that we support, as well as to the end goal of reporting on the same to all our stakeholders on the impact that our activities have on the stakeholders, the environment, and the society in general.
The training attracted participants from Standard Bank, Presken, Ilovo, Edis Properties, Nico, among others. Dave Umar, MBC News, Mangochi.
And this is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. The Malawi government commends Zimbabwe for the timely humanitarian support during disasters. The Reserve Bank of Malawi urges the financial sector to create products to attract diaspora investment. And in sport, the Football Association of Malawi apologizes to Lilongwe City Mayor over Charity Shield stage snap.
Musaiponye kuyambira lolemba lino ndi lolemba lililonse 6:30 madzulo. The Sting Mbola.
Andikuona kuti uyu ndi responsible citizen andi chibwezi icho apitirize.
You can't be wise in love at the same time uli muchikondi and ukhala so anzeru sizingatheke.
Ngamenda futo kuti pali matenda ambiri amene amabwera kusatira kumvazo satira zosakhala bwino.
Koma sikuti ndifukwa chakuti iwo aja ubwezi wawo uthere ayi.
Wapwetekeka kwambiri. Pa Chingerezi, she's so hurt and she's in shock.
The Sting Mbola, only on MBC. Don't miss.
Welcome back. The Reserve Bank of Malawi has challenged players in the financial sector to introduce products that should motivate Malawians in the diaspora to invest back home. Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi, Kisu Simwaka, made the call in Lilongwe during the launch of Manga Yako by Vanguard Life Assurance Limited. Isaac Jali has a report.
Manga Yako is a policy designed to help individuals, including those in the diaspora, invest in personal construction projects through manageable long-term savings with Vanguard Life Assurance. While commending Vanguard Life Assurance for the initiative, Kisu Simwaka said the unique product presents an opportunity to Malawians to shift from small, consistent contributions to creating tangible assets, such as building houses. Kisu Simwaka also said the product has the potential to help the country harness the much-needed forex.
As Malawi, one of our key challenges as the country is foreign exchange. So we want to harness as much foreign exchange as possible from Malawians who are in diaspora. So we have to encourage them, because you can't just seek that forex without giving them incentives. So one of the encouragement here is that they have opportunities now to build homes here. Vanguard Life Insurance has come up with an innovative product. They are talking about creating assets, building homes, leaving assets for generations to come. That is the right kind of direction that we need to take as the country. So we recommend Vanguard for the innovative product that they have come up with.
Commenting on the product, Vanguard Life Assurance Managing Director Lilian Moyo said Manga Yako is a solution to the needs of people who cannot afford to construct a house in a single payment. Moyo observed that most Malawians struggle to raise disposable income to build a house at once.
So when we say that insurance must remain relevant to people's lives, we mean that insurance must respond to real needs. So we have looked into the market and did our research, and we discovered that the real need for Malawians, especially those in the diaspora, is the lack of housing, to have a proper house that they can retire to. So it's not just for those in diaspora, even here locally, when one is working and they're earning, we really do not have much disposable incomes that we can build a house at once. So when we provide such a solution, they are putting money together slowly, and that in the long term, they'll be able to have good funding to start a project and finish it.
Being a new product, Lilian Moyo has assured Malawians home and abroad that their premiums will be safe as the system is fraud-proof. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
NICO Group of Companies, through NICO Pensions, has reaffirmed its role in promoting financial inclusion and savings among Malawians. The commitment was made at Likuni Market in Lilongwe, where NICO Pensions mobilized the uneducated people on the importance of saving through a program called Pension Yanga. We have a report by Mpato Mataya, but read by Patrick Dambula.
Speaking to MPC, NICO Group's financial advisory manager Limbani Nyirenda explained that the Pension Yanga initiative enables those in informal employment to invest and closes the financial gap by giving them access to pension. Nyirenda emphasized that Pension Yanga has created a savings avenue within the community where people can save for 10 years and then access a pension. He added that the program allows investors to receive monthly payments after saving for more than 10 years.
This is a new product that we've come up with at NICO Pensions, basically also dubbed as voluntary personal pension. This pension, the idea that we came up with, because traditionally pension has been for people in formal employment, but we started seeing that there's a gap. The local man who's doing small businesses, they earn a lot of money, but they have no avenues of saving and no avenues of building a pension for themselves. So we came with a personal pension whereby one can join by themselves and be able to make investment through it with any amount and with the frequency that they can do it comfortably as they see fit. So they make a little business today, they contribute. They find out a little money next week, they contribute. They come another time, they contribute. And then it runs for at least 10 years where they can get a lump sum payout. But also they are at liberty to save for longer than the 10 years, and depending on how the payout would be, they can also run into another program where they can be a proper pensioner receiving on a monthly basis whilst they go into their resting time, which would probably be after they've done their businesses.
A businessman at Liguni Market, Hamilton Murera, welcomed the program, saying it would help him in the future when he is no longer productive. He noted that he can invest today and redeem his pension just like those in formal employment. The NICO product Pension Yanga is promoting inclusive wealth creation and fostering a saving culture among citizens, helping them to become financially independent.
People in the country have been urged to support the socio-economic empowerment of people with disabilities. President of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for the Eastern Conference, Pastor Saned Lubani, made the remarks during a service marking the church's worldwide commemoration of people with disabilities at Indira and SDA Church in Blantyre. Pastor Lubani said if effectively used, people with disabilities have the ability to make meaningful contributions to national development and the economy. Our reporter George Banda speaks to Pastor Lubani.
The church decided to come up with this ministry, but also a very special day to commemorate this because those who have disabilities and they have different, challenges are part and parcel of the church. The church is nested by the community, and the community has different categories of people. And within, the different groups that are in the church, the physically challenged, the deaf, those who have autism, some are even epileptic, they are part of the church. They come to church, and we can't close our eyes because they need to be ministered unto, but they themselves, even though they have different challenges, they can also minister. Truly, these people can do much if we give them a chance, if we give them that opportunity to minister unto the church. And we as a church, we can't stand aside. We want to make sure that they also take part in various ways to work in the communities and at the same time even to minister in the church.
In his remarks, Evangelist Evans Kayima, who is blind, added that most people with disabilities possess unique skills that can help drive the country's national development.
Anyone who is a disabled person, God invested in him or her uniqueness
of a possibility or a gift. Could be a physical gift or a spiritual gift, so that it can uplift him or her. So that inbuilt or that gift that is given by God has to come out and be shown out. In that way, each and everyone who is disabled can be beneficial to the community, even to the church.
And in sport, the Football Association of Malawi has issued a public apology to Lilongwe City Mayor Peter Steve Banda following his removal from the medal presentation stage during the NBS Charity Shield. The apology follows a directive from Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Alfred Gangata, who ordered the association to apologize, investigate the incident, and discipline those responsible. Pressure had also mounted from Malawi Local Government Association President Isaac Jomo Osman, who warned of possible financial sanctions if no action was taken. In a statement released on 19th April 2026, FAM expressed what it described as sincere and unreserved apologies to the mayor, Lilongwe City Council, and the general public. The association acknowledged that the incident fell short of expected protocol standards and may have caused discomfort. The association has since taken full responsibility and pledged to review the incident and implement corrective measures to prevent a recurrence of the same. Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of the top stories before we leave. The Malawi government has commended Zimbabwe for the timely humanitarian support during disasters. The Reserve Bank of Malawi urges the financial sector to create products to attract diaspora investment. And in sport, the Football Association of Malawi apologizes to Lilongwe City Mayor over Charity Shield stage snub. Well, keep up to date with our news coverage on our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You've been with me, Sifati Msusa, alongside our sign language interpreter tonight, Tauson Kamalata. So from the entire team, it's thanks for watching and bye for now.
Good evening and welcome. It's time for weather update. Expect partly cloudy and warm to hot conditions over most parts of our country, but rainfall is also expected over very few areas. Looking at today's weather system, we see that an easterly air mass from the Indian Ocean is still influencing weather over our country. So tonight, expect clear skies over most areas, but isolated rains are expected over few northern lakeshore areas. Tomorrow morning, expect mild to warm conditions over our country, whereby Zuzu is expected to reach about 18 degrees Celsius, 19 over Kasungu, as well as Blantyre. The same morning, expect partly cloudy conditions with rains over some few areas such as Karonga. In the afternoon, expect hot conditions over most areas, whereby Karonga is expected to reach a maximum temperature of about 29 degrees Celsius, 28 over Katabe, 31 Mangoshi, 28 over Lilongwe and Blantyre, while Ngabwani Sanje is expected to reach about 36 degrees Celsius. We should also expect mostly sunny conditions over the southern, central, as well as the northern part of our country. Looking into Tuesday, we should expect partly cloudy conditions over most areas. Thanks for watching. I'm Charity Mapondo. Be wise, be weather-wise.
School
School's out, fun's in, adventure's on, homework done, and holiday mode is activated.